Alright, Game 2 was similar to Game 1 minus the comeback, because the defensive game plans didn't change. So the Thunder kept the same starting lineup, still had their big show-off screens or read along with the rest of the team, still sagged off bodies, and still pulled over early on those low rotations. But as I've said before, the Pacers basically do the same thing, because both sides prioritize taking away the paint, so the big difference on the night was just in the level of shot making, and the Pacers just didn't have it from top to bottom this time. The only one that was really making the same looks from deep was Naismith in the third, and they even got a stretch from Siakam in the second, but those points just helped keep them afloat, not help them run it back, because they struggled to consistently generate quality shots throughout. The Thunder are very disciplined in their pressure and their coverages, so they were stagnating the Pacers' offense, because that first line was keeping everything on the perimeter, and it basically turned into hot potato a lot of the times. They don't have as many defensive breakdowns compared to the Knicks or other teams, so the Pacers aren't getting as much as they've been with their constant screening actions. And what made it even worse was them not being able to exploit their size advantage again, because that should have been a point of emphasis coming into this game. That's an obvious area of weakness for the Thunder, especially with Shed at the 5, because they don't even need to hunt a mismatch for Siakam when all they've got to do is find Turner on post-ups whenever he's got Shed on him. But at least they were still running a lot of two-man games for him, and that's even more dangerous for the Thunder's bigs. His skill set makes him a matchup nightmare, because when they're showing off Tyrese or any other guard screens, that's just opening up the pocket or the pop, and he can either roll to the rim, 2 it on the short, or 3 it on the pop. He just constantly puts the Thunder's bigs in a compromised position, because their coverages are to contain the rock, so he's getting to eat a lot. And whenever they did stay body to body to take away his shot, that just opened up a look for the Pacers guards turning the corner. But even though he's been the beneficiary of that two-man game, the Pacers still have to figure out how to get Tyrese better looks, because the Thunder are living with the others getting the shots as long as it's not him. And he's not one to force anything, so some of it is on him to maybe start doing more of that, and some of it is on the coaching staff to start freeing him up with more actions. The Thunder are just easily getting him off the rock with their shows, and even when he has gotten a big on a switch, he struggled to break him down off the dribble, because his specialty isn't in his ones. So I think he's either got to reject more the way he did in Game 1, or they've got to run more BPs and Spains the way they did in the fourth. But if not those, they can even start setting flats or drags higher, because that's what the Thunder started doing to alleviate pressure off Shea, and that adjustment was really how he was able to constantly get downhill as soon as he crossed the 47. He was either too quick around the corner, splitting 2, snaking, or rejecting, and sometimes he was even attacking before the screen was set, because they were too slow to keep up with his first step. Once he touched paint, he just made the right read, but even if he couldn't get an early screen to attack quick, he was still getting whatever he wanted when he'd hunt a matchup, because if the Pacers' big showed, or Tyrese and Obi hedged, that was just putting 2 on the rock for the short, and if they switched, wasn't high with their levels, or just let him play ones, that was a bucket or dime every time. He was even making the right pass against the Fires in the post, and he really controlled the Thunder's entire offense. But as seen in Game 1, the right passes don't matter unless the others make shots, so it would only look good because they finally did more of that in this game. Even though Shed still needs to finish more over Turner, and Dubs still needs to make more of his open spot-ups, at least the two provided more production, but it was really more about what Caruso and Wiggs provided. Both of them were big reasons for their lead in the second, then maintaining that throughout the second half, because that shot making was what they needed to avoid another choke job, and the majority of their trades were coming on the left side, more specifically the left wing, so those two need to always be filling those spots. But at the end of the day, all they did was salvage Game 1, because the Pacers got the split, so they were really playing with fool's gold in this game, and it's time to see if the others can replicate the same shot making on the road to steal a game back. Just watch the tape.
Steps back. Three-pointers good from Wiggins, his second 3.